Arn, you look too damn serious, man. I know you're like a really relaxed guy, but you're all like seriously into the tech. We're going to start this live on Facebook. Arn's going to be all pissed off looking. Goddamn computers.
All right. Now we are up. We are on Facebook. What's happening, everybody? Arne Giske here. So we got another amazing episode of MECTV. We got hardcore closer in the house, Mr. Ryan Stewman, for another episode of MECTV Groups for Profit Summit. So super hyped to have you, man. What's going on?
Man, you know, just over here kicking Monday's ass, doing what we do best over here at Break Free Academy. And man, I'm glad to be on here, man. I'm glad that you let me come on here and talk to your folks. Maybe I'll say one or two things that might enlighten them to go out and make shit tons of money. That's my goal anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so that was cool. I asked you right before we hopped on, how did Black Friday go? And that's amazing to see your result and what you had happen, not only from this year's sales, but last year's sales as well. So you want to tell people what happened there?
Well, yeah, that's kind of a funny story. So, you know, I don't do sales in my business, in like on sale discounts, I should say, right? So that we're clear. I do lots of sales in my business, just not, discounts. And it's just a bad habit to create. And I see why some people do it, but I also want to keep the value and the appraisal of the quality of people and everything else high. So Black Friday is like one of the times of the year where I can really push the limits and sell stuff. And so we did 3 sales this year. One was everything that I've ever made for $5,000 in lifetime access to our mastermind. One of them was $200 a year subscription to our phonesites.com software, which is a steal. And the other one was $97 sales bundle, like 3 or 4 of my sales trainings bundled up. And we did it right at $201,000 in sales. And funny, it's like, about 50,000 of that was by not accident, but like I forgot about it. It's almost like I found $50,000 in my pocket when I put my pants on Saturday morning. I rolled over and I always check when the first time I look at my phone, I'm always checking to see how much money came in overnight, right? And I don't get on social media or anything like that. I see how much money we made overnight, and then I turn on YouTube, something positive to get my mind right. And I look over and we got like $60,000 in sales that had come in overnight. And I went, oh shit, something's not right. Like somebody committed fraud on our account or whatever. Cause I was expecting maybe 10 or 20, but not 60. And what had happened was the Black Friday sale that I ran last year, all those renewed. And so all the people that stayed in the program renewed, and I just totally forgot about it. And I was like, well, hot damn, this makes it really good. And we cranked up the volume again today and did a phone sites for a year for $447. Then we gave them $1,000 digital product. And I think we've done another 10,000 in sales today from it too. So, and we just started promoting it about, well, the last post, the first post about it went out at 3:30 in our group. So the groups where, just much like, where most of our business is, I treat our Facebook group, Sales Talk with Sales Pros, and I run multiple big ass Facebook groups, but I treat them as if they're interactive email list. And so I spend more time, not just advertising, but giving value and being active inside the group than I ever have gotten any action on a email. And we can see in the group with the insights where our average email gets open. Let's see, I can tell you right now, I think it's 23% on average for our emails, versus in the group, we know we have 150,000 engagements per week, 32% open rate on email for Black Friday versus 150,000. And I'm smart about it. I'll say, hey, leave a comment, do this. I'll give you bonuses and things of that nature. So it gets a lot of engagement, more exposure.
True that. So, and that's one of the cool things too, is like, especially when I've seen what you've been doing over the years, is putting your eggs in all these different baskets. Like I thought I put out a lot of content until I was like, okay, this guy, he drops content absolutely everywhere, but you still keep a big focus on the group, on community, adding the content, adding the stories, putting your promos in there too. So like, how do you see how groups fit in with your overall digital marketing? Because you're everywhere.
Well, so we have a process. I don't think I have it in my office here, but we have a book called the M3. I wrote it this year. It's been out for about a month, and it basically teaches that process. And I'll break it down. M3 is the media marketing method. That's what M3 stands for. And if you think about television, radio, newspapers, anything, it's about 80% shit that you want to see, the TV show you want to watch, the music you want to listen to, the article you want to read, and about 20% advertisements to pay the bill. A lot of people make the mistake of getting on social media and treating it differently than any other media channel. So if we know 80% is for the viewers' enjoyment in TV and the listeners' enjoyment in radio, then we need to make 80% of our content for the group's enjoyment, for the people who look at our pages' enjoyment, for the people who look at even our business pages. We need to make something that's of value to them. The first step that you got to do is you got to get inside the mind of your perfect prospect. You got to figure out who it is you want to communicate, who it is that can best use your services, who can't use your services, and then you speak to those people. Okay, so now that I know that, let's just go real general here. My best prospect to do business with is somebody that's making over $250,000 a year and either owns their business or is a high-level sales professional, right? And so what are those guys into? They're into funny memes. They're into articles about sales. They're into get more money articles. They're into things that are motivational. They're into a lot of rah-rah and fluff, because sales and owning a business is a fucking hard job and you need something to keep you entertained. So 80% of the stuff that I do, and I'll just break it down for you. I know that the first thing in the morning, my perfect prospect is going to wake up, check their email. There's going to be some heat in there, right? It's going to be some shit, some disgruntled customers, some chargebacks. There's going to be some shit in this fucking phone every single morning. That's why I don't look at mine until 10, right? Like I don't look at email, social media, nothing until 10. However, I do write a social media post and my team puts it up every morning about 6:30. You can see on my wall, there's something motivational. I know my perfect prospect's not going to go in their wallet at 6:30 in the morning. They're just barely waking up, maybe shaking off a hangover, or fucking smoking too much weed the night before, whatever case that they have to do to cope to be in sales and own a business, right? It's like, it's a true part of it. So I'm going to say something inspirational, something motivational that they want to hear first thing in the morning. Doesn't have anything to do with my business, anything like that. It's just some experience that I had. In the afternoon, I only post about 3 times a day. In the afternoon, after they've had a hard day, I'm going to say something funny, something entertaining, something to fucking lighten up the spirit of having a hard day at work. And then usually about 7 o'clock at night, I'll say, hey, well, every other day or so, I'll say, hey, by the way, you can join this program. Or a lot of times what I do is I give a testimonial. Hey, here's Arne. Arne came through our program. He built an amazing group. He's making billions of dollars a year. He's kingpin of the world. And it all started with this. And if you'll just do this, then you could go down the same path as Arne. Try to give results like that. So it's not a blatant sales pitch, but it's definitely product placement, if you know what I mean. And, exactly. And I do the same thing in the group. And fortunately for me, I've been creating a shit ton of content for 10 years. And so like last night, this is my ritual every week, Arne, and we've talked about this before. Last night, I downloaded a bunch of videos from YouTube that were mine, and I uploaded them into the Sales Talk group. And then I scheduled them to be posted throughout the month, every day every other day between 4:30 and 8:30 at night. So I'm catching them every 2 or 3 days at different time zones, to where there's going to be videos that they're going to see of mine in there that's already been filmed, some of them 4 or 5 years ago, still relevant, that are going to be in that group. Plus I have a blog, hardcorecloser.com. So I can go in every morning, go to my hardcorecloser.com, and I can just simply share links into the group from the social share bar on my website. Everybody thinks it's there for them. It's really there for me. So I can go and quickly share stuff in there, write a sentence or two, and just continue to give them content. And then once every few days, I'll go in there and make a long ass post explaining some stuff, and it might even be just something that's copied and pasted from one of my blogs that was popular, or I might do a live video once a week in there. But I try to switch it up. Notice I didn't say I put videos in there 3 times a day. I'm like, here's a website if you like to read shit. Here's a video if you like to watch shit. Here's a post about some motivation if you need some motivational shit. Then I try to think of all the things that they can need to be my perfect customer, and then provide that.
True that. And one thing I want to pull out from what you said there that I really like, and a lot of people aren't using too much, is the storytelling with inserting the product or the name drop, that kind of thing, where you can say like, oh, shout out to this guy over here. He did blah, 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 blah. And then he set this thing up on phone sites and he did this, blah, blah, blah. And everybody reads it. But what they take away from it was, oh, that happened because of that thing, because of that product, because of that coaching. And then it starts creating this big desire and this attraction marketing. And that's what the Facebook group stuff is all about. Because it's like so much less on direct response and so much more on that attraction marketing, and making all those other messages that you're sending them in other places make sense, and it improves your credibility. So it's such a key piece. And like, that's one thing I've been very curious, especially about asking you, like, since there's so many people out there that say like, oh, Facebook groups are a waste of time. I would much rather just pay for ads. but they're missing out on the ability to kind of stack everything up. So it's cool to see how you're using that and just making sure that you're combining both of them for a much bigger ROI. So
well, let me stop you real quick there. And I'm not usually one to interrupt people, but I want to touch this because it's hot. People say that to me all the time too. Hey, I'd just rather run ads. And when you're running ads, you're building an email list. I can tell you your email list is not as responsive as a good Facebook group. If you built your email list right, it's still not as responsive as a good Facebook group because there's no spam filters on Facebook groups. There's no DNS whitelists on Facebook groups, right? You go in there, people see it. If they engage, they show more people. It's that fucking simple. And people say that all the time. It's like, well, you're still building a list. Why not build a list you're building an email list on one platform. Why not build another list? Why not get their email first and then email them to join the group? That's how we've done it. Matter of fact, tomorrow our group will be 4 years old. So it's only 4 years old we've kicked out over 40,000 people, man, because we keep it super clean. We don't let you spam or anything like that. But still got 80,000 people in there after kicking out 40,000 in 4 years. It's 10,000 a year. I have like 10 admins that run the damn thing. It's off the charts busy in there. And our email list, no way. But here's what people think. They think, well, if I go and send an email out, I just put a link and people buy shit. That's not how it happens in the groups, right? Now you might go and write some fancy shit, put a link and a few people buy, but that's not really how it goes down on social media. On social media, people read it and then they send you a DM. And they ask you some questions about what all comes with it, or they say, will it help my situation? So a lot of people think I just post a link in the group and $200,000 fucking appears in my bank account. Man, my DM gets full and I treat my DM like it's a hot lead box, man. I put every lead that comes in my DM in my pipe drive and my CRM. Like I'm always, as soon as they hit me up, I'm like, hey, cool. What's your phone number? What's your email address? I'm treating them just like any other sale, right? And so I make a lot of money from the DMs that people never even see buy shit in the group, right? Because a lot of people don't want to comment on there and say, hey, I just bought it, this, that, and the other, because they don't want to be hassled by people. And so once you learn that process and you get it down, post link in there, expect DMs to come in, sell in the DM, dude, that's a flawless process that I've mastered. But a lot of people, they just expect to post the link, make the money and get rich. And that's not exactly how it works on social media, on your profile or group or even a page. You know, you have to create a culture, create a familiarity. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. You got to get them to know you by getting in front of them. You got to get them to like you by displaying your personality. And then ultimately your expertise will decide whether they trust you or not enough to hit you in the DM or buy from a link or whatever the case may be.
True that. So what do you think would be like a couple of solid tips for people who want to show up, put good content out, and get people in their DMs?
So the first thing is, if you're building a group, there's two different paths. There's building your group or being active inside somebody else's group. There's plenty of people made millions of dollars in my group besides me. There's some guys that have raised a shit ton of money for storage facilities in there. There's guys like Sid that's made $4 million from selling funnels to people in there. I mean, there's other people making money in that group besides me, and they don't have to build their own group. But here's the mistake that most people make versus what these guys did. The difference between the two is most people go in a group and they make a post and they're like, look at me. Look at me. Look at my post. Here's my words and shit, right? And then nobody acknowledges them because they're like, here's another attention whore, right? Here's one of 80,000 motherfuckers just posting some same old bullshit in here. The way to get in a group and really infiltrate it, and even if you came into my group, you could infiltrate it and it would be the same as if it's your own, even if you're not an admin or a moderator, is going in there and first using the search bar, search keywords that people would use if they were looking for your service. Then go and comment, but don't leave your link in a comment. Don't try to pitch them in the comment. Add some fucking value. Follow the M3 method, right? You're going to give 80% value to them. Guess what? You do that on 4 or 5 posts every day for a couple of weeks. Guess what? Now all of a sudden you've got, let's say you do it for 10 days, 4 posts a day. You got 40 people who now know you, plus the other people that interacted in the comments because they get notifications, right? And so when you post, now those 40 people want to, if they see it, want to feel reciprocated. And since you engage with them, they're the 40 people in the group that are most likely to be shown your post because the algorithm. And so now you've got a little bit of momentum. You got some people supporting you, some people backing you up, some people adding value to you. And as they start to endorse you in that group, your posts get more and more powerful, but it all starts by leaving comments. So many people go, well, when did I posted in there for 3 days and nobody even liked my status? That's because you weren't adding any value. You're trying to subtract shit from the group. You got to go in and add shit to the group, that's how you get back, right? If you've subtracted stuff, there's nothing to subtract because you haven't added anything in there in the first damn place to subtract it out. I've given $1 trillion worth of value to our group in the last 4 years. It's allowed me to extract about $8 million from them. And you know, but I had to give, like I said, $1 trillion worth of value. I still go in there and comment on people's posts every day, so it makes sure that I'm still the top commenter in the group, right? Because I know the process that we have to work, because it's Dale Carnegie 101. Nobody gives a shit about you. They give a shit about themselves. And if you want them to give a shit about you, you got to give a shit about them first. And so that's the same way you go into a group, treat it with that same principle. You go in there and you care about everybody else. You add value. For me, it's easy because I just go in there and say, hey, read this article, explains it all. Drop a link to my website. It's super fast for me because I got the content to be able to do it. But after a while, me doing that, 10,000 people I've probably hit up in 4 years doing that. They're like, dude, Stewman knows his shit. He's always giving. He's always giving. Imagine what happens when you pay for the guy. Yeah,
pretty much. And so that brings up another good question. I love this question. And I'm super curious in your answer too. There's so many people out there that are wondering like, oh, how much free content is too much free content? And, you know, guys like you and me, I think there's no limit to the amount of free stuff we give out. So like, what's your philosophy behind that on giving to the group?
I think you should just make all your shit, like anything that you teach, you should teach in a blog post or a video anyway. There's nothing really secretive inside of our mastermind programs that you couldn't assimilate probably from free shit that I got out there too. Maybe some of the funnel making stuff or whatever, just because it's, you know, copyright shit, but 99% of everything I have, you can find it at hardcorecloser.com or on YouTube. But here's the thing, people don't buy because they want more content. Nobody ever rolled over in the middle of the night and goes, honey, if we just watch more Ryan Stewman videos, we'd get rich. That's not how it fucking works, right? People have a problem that they can't seem to get past, that they've been stuck at for a long time now, that's irritated them to the point to where they're willing to take action because that's the only way it fucking happens. And they believe that your wisdom, because of the things that they've read, saw, watched, whatever, heard, if it's a podcast or whatever, they believe that you might have enough wisdom to help them with their particular problem and hold them accountable to fix it. That's why people pay me. People don't pay me because they want access to 400 videos. I tell my sales guys this all the time. Nobody gives a fuck if there was 10,000 videos in there. They ain't going to watch them all anyway. Nobody gives a fuck. What they want to know is that there's one specific answer to the problem that they have that they can take action on and get a result from because they're fucking irritated by it. And so in order for me to be able to even have the influence and authority to be able to say, yes, Arne, I can solve your problem, I had to fucking show people I could solve a bunch of problems for free. And I know there's a bunch of gurus out there that can't create content, so they tell you not to do that, right? The people that are lazy or they can't create content, they tell you not to do that. Let me tell you what, Grant Cardone does it. That motherfucker's got a lot of money. Gary Vee does it. That motherfucker's got a shit ton of money. Tony Robbins does it. You can't get anything you want to learn from Tony, you can learn on YouTube or his blog. It's there. Anything you will learn from Cardone, you can learn from YouTube or any of his 50 podcasts, his books. It's all the same shit over and over. Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, doesn't matter, right? The guys that are doing this on the highest level, we're talking 9-figure per year earners in this business, are giving it away, while there's 6- and 7-figure people that can't create content telling you, you know, you ain't got to create content all the time. You're right, you don't. But if you want to get fuck you money rich, you better fucking create content. But there's no such thing as too much free content. Hell, I've got 1,500 blog posts, 1,400 videos, 600 or 700 podcasts. There's no such thing as free content, but you got to keep putting that content out there, because all it takes is one person to see one video, read one blog post, read one thing, make action, take action on what they saw, change their mind, change their life, and become a paying customer of yours for life.
Boom. That's the formula, man. That's how you sold me. So
I got the shit down, right? You know, because I practice what I preach. And that was one of the first things you said to me too. You're like, now that I bought your shit and see what you're up to, you literally practice exactly what you preach. That's so rare. But I mean, shit, I only teach by experience, because I dropped out of school in the 8th grade. So if I didn't experience myself, I don't know it exists. And so I just, hey, this is what worked for me. And I show people exactly how to fucking do it. Is it easy? No, but anything that's going to make you $8-10 million in a year ain't going to be easy, right? If it was, we'd all have $8-10 million a fucking year income, and we'd be sitting back with our laptops traveling to Thailand or wherever the fuck internet marketers always disappear to. You know the secret behind that, right? It's a lot cheaper over there, right? Oh, yeah. You can live in LA and rent out $1 million house. You can live in Thailand and rent out $1 house, right? So, you know, it's all perception, but the thing is, like, that's just what I've done. And I know I have proven it time and time again that if people will follow that formula, they'll get rich. I had a guy that didn't even have a Facebook, two guys right now that are my personal clients, didn't even have Facebook accounts 6 months ago. Now every post they getting 100, 200 likes, and getting mad engagement, all because they followed the system. However, it never fails. Within that first 60 days, both of them said, hey man, I'm posting like you told me to, and ain't shit going on. Like, dude, just wait. Because there's something about that 60 days that it takes to gain influence and authority with somebody online. But after that, dude, it just stacks up and keeps going.
Yeah, true that. And a lot of people, they don't have that patience up front. But what they don't realize is how many people are watching them for those 60 days without ever liking, commenting, hitting
Stalkers.
them up. Yeah, they're out there for sure. And that's in every single Facebook group, every single profile. Like, I've run into people who have never engaged with my stuff. They've become customers. They wanted to get, next level offers, all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't even know you existed. They don't show up. They don't message me until it's time. So that should be inspiration for everybody out there watching, guys. Keep showing up, keep at it. Become
here's
a
what happens.
machine.
Well, here's what happens. Like, it's like multi-level marketing. You stand up, you tell all your friends, I'm being a rich ass internet marketer, right? And they sit back and they go, all right. Because just like saying, hey, I just signed up for Vima and I'm gonna have a Ferrari next week, right? And then what happens is in 60 days, they see that you're still sticking with it, starting to get some results if you're making your post correctly. And after about 6 months, for me, they go, well, shit, how do I get in and make this happen? Dude, I've been watching you for 6 months now. I see you winning constantly the way that you are. How do I get into that? Boom, come on in. This is how you get invited to become a member of our inner circle. And so many people fail in MLM and fail in internet marketing because 30 days they didn't get rich and squirrel, fucking they're on to the next opportunity. And they say this doesn't work. But we know it works because you got guys like me that exist. Even Gary Vee has a huge group. Even Tony Robbins, Brennan Burchard has a group of like 2 million people in it. Like, we know that it works. That's why these folks like myself and you that build these groups do this. And hey, I don't want you to think, well, I just built this whole group to sell people stuff. I built the group because I was lonely. I needed some friends. I needed some people to talk to that understood sales. And then about 6 months into it, I'm like, well, shit, this is like a list. I should start selling to these folks. So it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna start this thing and I'm gonna make a fuck ton of money from this Facebook group, right? I'm gonna rip these people off. I went, dude, I just want to hang out with other people that are just like me online. What had happened for me, honestly, 4 years ago was people were bitching about Obama and Hillary and Trump and fucking politics on Facebook was fucking horrible. And I said, I want to create a safe space. I know there's other sales professionals. I know there's other motivated and driven entrepreneurs out there that are tired of being mad at Obama or tired of being mad at Senator McCain or whatever the fuck, Benghazi bullshit. Let's go to some place where when we log in and we go to Sales Talk with Sales Pros, we know that we're not going to have any of that shit. And turns out I was right. There was a lot of fucking people that said, you know what, dude, this place never has any of that shit. And we'll kick your ass out, right? Like, I know it's not a popular opinion, but I like Donald Trump, but I don't talk about him in our group because it's just not allowed, right? Yeah, I don't want to stir that up. I want that group to be where we're always positive and motivated. We delete negative posts all the time. If someone's bitching about something, if we catch it, we delete it because we don't want that in there. We want this to be a place where sales pros come in and go, fuck yeah, now I'm fired up to go make sales today.
Yep. You said you got 40,000 blocked in 4 years. That's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, man. Lots of people don't like me because of it. I had somebody the other day go, hey man, can I get back in the group? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to fucking look you up out of all these people and fucking search for no, dude, I'm CEO of goddamn 5 companies. I ain't got time for all this shit, and they get all mad. They'll go rant on Facebook, fucking Stewman's such an asshole. But the truth is I'm not an asshole. The truth is I'm the nicest guy in the world. And I wrote, this is important lesson for you guys too. I wrote like 10 rules down, and those 10 rules are basically the core values of the group. And if I let somebody violate those values that we've set for the group, then that means that the values aren't really the values of the group anyway. It makes it inauthentic. So even my assistant the other day, she goes, damn, you deleted my shit too. Fuck yeah, I did. It violated the rules. It's like, I try not to, I get a little pass because I run the damn group, but I try not to violate the rules either. I will blatantly post some sales shit in there for Black Friday or something like that. But 99% of the time I'm abiding by the rules. My team is and everything else, because I want it to be that place. So when people, and what I like about the feature they have now is you can just click the violated rule and it lets the people know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
that helps for sure.
actually write rules. So when you go to delete the post, you can let them know that that's why it's not allowed. So, some people go, oh, it's fucked up, you deleted my post. And then other people are like, oh, okay, shit, no, don't do that again. Now I've read all the rules.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. We don't want to piss people off. We just want to educate them with what the values and the standard for the group is, so they don't violate it. Because we don't want people asking what books to read 10 times a day. We have that problem in there. We don't want people spamming MLM or hiring and firing people, looking for jobs, need a job, that shit. We don't want none of that shit, right? We want things where you come in there and you watch something from Cardone, you watch something from Stewman, you watch something from Gary Vee, you read a blog from one of the members of the group, or, you know, hell, I let people do live videos and everything in there as long as there's value to them.
Yeah, true that. And I think what really helps with that is getting clarity on the values of the group and having that as the long-term channel. So people know what you're about, what you're not about, and really creates the right culture. And like you said, creates that space where people know they can show up and get that. And that's one thing that you've really done well with, is getting a lot of raving fans. Of course, that comes with some haters. But what do you think is kind of like the key to having raving fans?
That M3 method. Always give 80% of the time. And I give without expectation. When I give a blog post, or I give a video or a training lesson or a life lesson or a podcast or whatever, I'm not expecting anybody to buy shit. If they do, bonus. It's just like waking up Saturday morning going, well, fuck, this is cool. You know, I'm not expecting anything. I'm truly doing it because I'm a giver. I have this blessing and a curse on my hands. And the blessing is I have so much help that I want to give to people, right? But the curse is that I got so much help that I want to give to people that it's, you know, sometimes it's probably kept me from making a few sales, because I'm sure there's people that say, you know, why would we buy Ryan's stuff when all this free shit's here? And that's fine too, because all I really want to do is help people. We call those folks kangaroos, by the way. Kangaroo, their arms are too short to fit in their back, to reach their back pocket where their wallet is, but just long enough to stuff everything in their pouch. So we call those folks kangaroos, which reminds me of another important part of building your culture inside your group is having your own language. You know, I taught Russell Brunson how to create that culture, because he's a member of our group, and he's like, dude, you guys have it fucking down here. We want to build a ClickFunnels group like this. Show us how you did it. And, you know, I was like, got to come up with your own language. You know, their own language is hacker and that kind of stuff that they have over there. Ours is kangaroo, and Harold is the HR guy. Salespeople always getting in trouble with HR, so we call HR Harold. We have kangaroos and we have savages and fucking, I mean, all these like insider lingo. Every industry, every clique, every group, every club, every fraternity, every sorority has insider lingo. And so that's important to add that as a part of your culture, because then they think, oh, I'm a savage, I belong to something. You know, oh, I'm a savage, fucking Arne's a kangaroo, right? He ain't one of us, right? And there's a clear distinction. If you read the book, the 48 Laws of Power, it explains all of these things. And truly that book is like a blueprint to building a cult. And a lot of people associate cults with like drinking the Kool-Aid and dying, or illegal money fraud and all this other shit. But truly, a cult is short for culture. And so you're building this culture of people who believe the same thing. Our cult is sales, which probably means our God is a dollar bill. But or it could be our God is a hooker, you know, and blow for some of those guys in there as well. But that's the cult that we've built in there. It's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. I'm not, you know, Robert Tilton or James Jones or one of these guys that's built some kind of bad cult that the media is given a stigma to. I built a culture of people who want to fucking demonstrate what winning looks like at all times. That's the cult that I can get behind.
True that. Love it, man. Cool. So I know there's a bunch of different ways that you operate. So much more value you can give to people. But what do you think is like some of the best places that people can go and learn more about what do you have going on, especially in terms of social media, in terms of making money online? I know you got phone sites. I know you got a few programs that would help out, but you got so much stuff, man. What do you think is going to help out the most for people who want to just crush it online, crush it with groups, and make a bunch of money?
So here's what I know. There's one thing. You can have the best sales skills in the world, the gift of gab, the best looks in the world, all that shit. But if you ain't got leads, you will never fucking make real money. Now, to some people, especially younger people, $100,000 a year is real money. It's only when you make $100,000 a year that you realize that ain't shit, especially when Uncle Sam puts his goddamn big ass hand in your back pocket and removes your wallet that the kangaroos couldn't get to. Now, the leads will set you free. There's 4 levels to success in business. I want you guys to write this down. There's a sales professional. Most of us started out, and this goes for your group too. You may be on a different level, but there's only 4 of them. The first level is a sales professional, someone that is working for a company selling stuff. You could be the marketing director. You could be the social media manager. You're still selling stuff. You're still a sales professional. Level 2 is the self-employed. That's when you leave when you officially hit level 2 is when you've severed ties with level 1, right? A lot of people, they have a side hustle and they're trying to make that side hustle their main hustle. When that side hustle becomes their main hustle, they become self-employed. That's the second level of business. That means it's just you. You got to create the content, you got to close the calls, you got to make the ads, you got to do everything yourself, right? Then there's level 3. Once you get see, you can max out income as a sales professional. You can definitely max out income being self-employed because you can only do so much. Trust me, the most I could ever make self-employed was $700,000 in a year. That was it. I was capped the fuck out. I could not, there's not enough hours in the day, things to be done, customers to be talked to fucking go beyond that. And I'm an efficient motherfucker and I still could not do that. So then I got to advance to level 3. I got to become a CEO. I got to start hiring people, right? I got to hire this social media manager. I got to hire these moderators for my group. I've got to hire a marketing director, an operations manager. Now, I didn't hire all those people at once. It started with one person I hired for $250 a week just to help. And then I hired a couple salespeople. Then we needed more help. So I hired somebody else. Then I hired somebody else to manage the people that I'd hired. So it scaled up over the last 4 years, but I'm in the CEO right now. And then I have a side hustle, which is level 4, where I invest in businesses, which mean I have CEOs working for me. I have phone sites, Wolfman Assets, and several other things that I invest in where other people are making those decisions. And I'm just the money man behind them. My goal is to transition from level 3 as a CEO into level 4, which is a full-time investor within the next 2 years. So I'll have other CEOs running Wolfman, running phone sites, and running Break Free Academy. But here's the reason why I share that with you is there's not a level 5 retirement, right? Even when you're an investor, you're still working hard. Now you're searching for opportunities, doing your due diligence and crunching your numbers versus a CEO making sure that you're running your company, managing your employees, having the fucking meetings and all the other shit that you got to do, right? So every business professional is in one of those 4 levels, right? You're either a sales professional, self-employed entrepreneur, a CEO of a company that has 1 or more employees that you've scaled that to where you can step out, hire another CEO, ultimately become the investor in other businesses. Now, I share that with you because the one thing that will help you get from level 1 to level 4 is the mastery of lead gen. You can be the world's worst salesperson. As long as you have a fuck ton of leads coming in, you'll still make money because 5% of the people you talk to are going to be lay down sales anyway. So leads are the one thing that's allowed me to break free every level and level up. Leads are the things that made me successful in the mortgage business. Leads made me successful at car washes. Leads made me successful at car sales. Leads made me successful here in this business. The problem most people have is they don't know how to generate leads. And then even when they go and they buy something like ClickFunnels, which we use and like, or Lead Pages, which we use and like as well, it's complicated. It takes months to learn it. The ADD kicks in and you just don't fucking get it done. Therefore, you never get leads. Therefore, you're back to the grind. You can never move past sales pro. You can never move past self-employed because you have not mastered the art of lead gen. That's why I created phonesites.com. You can go get a free 7-day trial right now because you can build a website in 5 fucking minutes. I don't care if you never built a website before, if you don't know code, if you can't even take a fucking picture with your iPhone, you can still build your first website in 5 minutes. If you want to make it badass, it'll take you probably 15 minutes tops, right? But you can put together a sales funnel because as you grow your group, you've got to have some way to get them to buy your shit. You need a website with a link to sell this stuff to. And I'm not a competitor to ClickFunnels. If you're already using ClickFunnels and you're good at it, by me or Lead Pages or Unbounce Me or any of those, by all means, just stick with it and go after it. But if you struggle with those and it's too much and the technology is just burdensome on you, try Phone Sites because I guarantee you it'll be the easiest, fastest, best software you ever use when it comes to getting leads, man. Like we crush it. Last night I made a little quick Phone Sites funnel for a little upcoming event that I have, and I made $6,000 from it in about 3 hours, right? Took me all like 7 minutes to put the whole fucking thing together with a PayPal link and everything. So if you guys are looking for leads to help you break free through those levels, if you're already using some other stuff, awesome. Use it more so that you can scale up to the other levels. If you're not using something and you're scared of technology, Phone Sites is your friend. It'll be the one that you stick with, I promise. So I appreciate you letting me do that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he asked me to pitch all. I think I just kind of fucking stole it from him and the inner salesman kicked in and I just started fucking out there with
man. Let's right into it. I know you got some great stuff. People can benefit from it too. Like I'm a client in your Apex Entourage and everything. Love what you got in there. Know you got some cool stuff going on with Phone Sites. And also, if you guys aren't listening to the Get Your Mind Right podcast, get on that. That's a good one. So yeah, tons of awesome stuff going on. A lot of things that you guys can learn here. Let me know, guys, in the comments, what was your number one takeaway from the stream so far? Because we don't do these shows just to entertain you. We want to make sure you're actually paying attention, that you're going to take something from this and use it and go and do things differently and do things at a higher level. So let me know what's one action step you guys have from this stream, and go commit to doing it, because that's what this stuff is all about. Not just entertainment. We want to get you guys on the right track. So let me know, comment below, and everybody say thanks to Ryan for coming on. He could be anywhere in the world right now, but he's here with us. So really appreciate you coming by, man, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks, Arne. I appreciate you having me on here.
For sure, for sure. All right, guys, catch y'all later. And we got some more episodes coming up this week. Groups for Profit Summit number 5 happening tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. So see y'all later, and until next time. All right, bye.